Yeah. Okay.
I guess
Interesting.
I'll take an already.
Okay, you have this other topic with Ada here.
That's
a
not
quick
over
one.
there.
If Ada can see before her birth, as we know, Ada cannot see with her Senrigan before her birth. So it would be really cool if Koji can't see after his death.
I love it. Love it
Sort of makes
immediately.
sense. Ada didn't
Yeah.
exist before her birth, and then Koji wouldn't exist after his death. Unless you're going to argue it comes up with the soul rather than the life. But that's a whole other topic of how do souls manifest in Naruto
I
anyways.
still like this idea
Kotaro
better.
Orochimaru make them.
Like, the ability ends with whenever Koji, as far ahead as Koji dies. So, like, the planet's getting devoured or whatever, just once... Okay, the only problem with this theory is that it seems like Koji saw the future where he's dead and the planet's devoured. And, but ignoring that, maybe he's the last person left before it's devoured. That's what he's... Or maybe he went to another dimension, and that's why he can see it. But I love the idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot they can play around with. The most obvious thing is just the limitation to his ability. He just can't see anything after his death in any of the possible futures. So any future that he just dies early, where Matsuri found him, he just doesn't see what happens there. He only sees the possibilities as they unwind now. And, like, obviously, once we get to the worst possible future, he wouldn't see any future past that, is what I would go for. Which means once we get to whatever arc is past that, that'd be brand new anyways. Koji couldn't have told Boruto or anything. So you just get to that point.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You fixed the future of Boruto.
Or, like, for
Ironically.
example, if Koji dies, let's just say this arc, Boruto wouldn't be able to use anything, or at least most things Koji says, because anything Koji told him further in the future is related to a different future. So, like, information on, like, how the Soul Throne works or whatever, that's probably still relevant. But a lot of the events, they're not necessarily useful, because it's for a different future that Koji didn't see, or that isn't happening.
Yeah, even working backwards here, writing-wise, it just gives reason for Koji to die as well. It's almost perfect in that regard.
That's that.
To
address the Koji dying thing,
yeah,
real quick. That's actually a perfect segue. I wrote down a couple notes, or really one sentence, but based off what they've done with this latest chapter, there's a couple of possibilities you could make, but it's one of two options. Either Koji can't see the futures that are created by him telling people about the future or influencing in other ways, period, or he can't see them until he's said the things where the ability then resets again, and it would have to keep doing that over and over again. One or the other.
Yeah, it does.
If it is the former, though, where he just can't see those futures, he can only see the natural futures, Koji doesn't really need to die, because everything that's happening now is unprecedented territory he hasn't seen, because he's already told people stuff. So it's already a new future, he just doesn't know where this is going to lead. Which kind of alleviates a lot of his need to die in that sense, to the point that it's not necessary. Even though it could still help, it wouldn't be as necessary. What do you think about that?
The problem is Koji should know everything that's going to happen, because yes, he can see all possible futures, but he knows how those futures differ and why. It's because of the choices, meaning he knows what choices need to be made to get to a certain future. He could just choose which future to go to based on that, which is ridiculous. But outside of that, I'm sorry, what was your thing? I got lost in the sauce of my thing there.
Because Koji says that if you tell people about the future, what they'll do will change.
Right, yeah, okay,
and
yeah,
he seemingly can't see what results from that. Either he needs to redo the ability, or he just can't see it, period.
I think he can see it. The problem is, it's just opening up more possibilities. Like, if there's only, let's just say, regardless of infinite possible futures, I don't think that's true anyways, because that doesn't make sense anyways.
Yeah.
Because if it's infinite, then it can't be possible. That would be impossible. But anyways, there's a paradox there. Hitomaki's pointed out as well. But I think the infinite would be just like saying all possible futures or whatever, but like all in terms of the limit. Or he's saying there's infinite time, so there's infinite potential for futures. Or because the future isn't set in stone, anything could happen at any time to change the future or whatever, open up new branching pathways. Because opening branching pathways can happen, that could be where the infinity is coming from anyways. Even if it's on one timeline, it's like one tree trunk with infinite branches. It could be. Anyways, I think opening more branches, let's just say there's like 7 possible futures. Opening an 8th branch means there's just less likelihood of knowing which of those branches it's going to end up being. It's a 1 in 7 chance instead of 1 of 8. And so he just wants to minimize the chances as much as possible. The problem is he makes it seem as if those branching pathways would necessarily be bad when I think any branching pathways he intentionally opens would only be good anyways. So I don't see why he wouldn't open them, but I think that's just not going to be explained. It's just not going to make sense.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you said. That's just why I think it'd be better if he just couldn't see the futures that result from him telling people about it, because then it would at least justify he just doesn't know and he doesn't want to risk it kind of thing. Versus knowing it should just be better. Like, why would it be worse?
Well,
especially if people like Shikamaru are just doing what he says anyway. Like, why would it get worse?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with no evidence. They don't even need to be told to follow him without proof. They're just doing it anyways.
Yeah, so I don't understand how this is a problem. I feel like only Kawaki would be like a problem character.
Exactly. Going back to my thing though with Koji's death, there's a lot they can play around here because there's 2 possibilities. Whichever one you think they should go with, it doesn't matter right now. The point is that there's 2 directions they could go to where Koji foresees his death and is trying to do everything he can to prevent his death, to continue living on past his death or whatever, just to stop it. It's similar to like a Tokyo Revengers. He's trying to stop the future that is currently going to happen to get to a different future where it doesn't happen. Or the alternative, either way, but it's going to be treated as a countdown. Koji's embracing it, and he's trying to alter the course of history, or the future, I should say, to where it's going to end up the best with the amount of time he has left. It'd be really cool because, again, this is literally a countdown, a ticking clock. Let's just say Koji has 3 more days before, in every possible future, the Shinju will find and kill him, no matter what he does, no matter where he goes. And so in that time, he's going to do what he can to set up Boruto for the best, whatever.
I like this latter option. I like the option to where he's not trying to survive it. He's, because this is in his character. He's embraced his death. He's already gone beyond what he embraced anyway. And it's just like, he knows he's going to die on whatever point. Let's just say Matsuri or Code are going to kill him. Because those are like the 2 guys after him the most. And he's just trying to set things up before he dies so that Boruto will succeed. I like that the best, probably. In that case, I kind of want Code to be the one to kill him because they sent him on this mission. Let's not have fucking Matsuri. Why Matsuri? Like, just have Code do it.
I know you haven't seen The Promised Neverland, but for like season 1, there's a character that dies, but like even after their death, they're still helping out the main characters because of the plan they left behind that the main characters don't even realize until the plan's already partway in fruition.
Not exactly the same, but kind of like Shikaku trying to like give them the plan before he dies, kind of thing.
It's in that case the same for the audience, but not the same for the
or I would say Minato's plan for Naruto with Kushina and all that stuff that he did way before. That's
a better example. I'm also sort of thinking Itachi with Sasuke, but I don't think that's really exactly the same.
Well, I mean, they're all similar enough to get the point.
But you get the idea. Yeah. It's just like their impact, their legacy, their influence is being felt even after their death all this time later, because that just shows how much of an impact they had when they were alive. That it's not just their memory.
Actually makes that point with Itachi with the Amaterasu trick. Or they kind of do this with Orochimaru and the war with Kabuto, where he keeps going, that damned Orochimaru for everything Kabuto says.
Yeah, so it's not just their influence, it's their direct impact.
Or Madara
because of something that they set up.
Say that one first.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good one too. Well, there you go.
There's a lot of them in Naruto.
That could be cool. Koji has two different directions he's sort of already gone in. He's gone in the direction of like defying his fate to like survive against Ishiki, overcome where Jiraiya failed.
Yeah,
I
but they
still
already
think he failed,
ruined
which is
it with the
point of Koji.
recap of Two Blue Vortex.
Oh,
So
bro, I got the Nessies too.
Yeah, because like
Yeah, that was
if they just kill
What the fuck
Koji
was he
now,
doing?
they should. But I'm gonna be mad if they do. First of all, because of the wasted potential with Naruto. It's like you gotta do something there.
maybe they can free
But also,
Naruto and then Coach dies.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it just
Are you
feels
fighting
like
another team though?
there was no reason to bring him back in the first place if this is all you're gonna do with him. Like, it feels like he hasn't lived up to coming back yet.
Yeah, like we
Just
need
to
more.
do more.
Like he can't just get snuck up on and killed by the Shinju. Like he needs some much bigger things going on. Partly why I prefer Code,
And I
because they
don't
could do
want
more with
him.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move somewhat soon.
But with that being said, I don't want to be in a life or death scenario anytime soon, anyways. Because if they don't do that, they're just gonna have to repeat the Ishiki thing, to where, oh, I refuse to die, even though I'm fated to, I'll survive, unlike Jiraiya, and then they just do that, and Koji's out of the story again until he comes back again. But at that point, why have him back for this second time at all? Just bring him back for that third time for the first time.
Yeah. That's the... I don't know. Because on one hand, it's just like they have to set up in the reason for him to die, but on the other hand, there's just too much that is left undone.
Yeah.
But
on
like,
the other hand, he
just
could just
wait on the
embrace
thing is
his.
you can't just wait on the plot point of Code and Matsuri going after him. Like somebody's got to find him.
Yeah.
By the next arc, at least.
Well, they're not waiting on it. Matsuri is actively doing that right now.
But what I mean is, they can't just be looking for Koji for 4 arcs. Like, they gotta find him either this arc or next arc. Like, you can't wait longer than that. It's too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Like imagine
the
if the
other
Itachi
aspect
Pursuit
is
arc,
Koji
Sasuke's just looking for Itachi for 4 arcs. Like, no. You start... This is the arc where they're looking for him. So they should really find him in this arc, or at least next arc.
Yeah. The other option would be that he just, again, embraces the shinobi ideology. He's going to act as a tool. He's fine with being a tool. He wants to be a tool, and he just does be a tool. So he's, like, embracing his death. And maybe if you want to argue, like, why it's a good thing, maybe that Koji's just putting the world above himself, or his own fate, or the future, or whatever. He's entrusting the next generation, if you want to say that.
The problem, though, was the Ishiki fight, because it was like, Ishiki's like, yeah, you're not capable of doing that, Koji. And then he's fighting it, and then he kind of comes to that realization at the end, and he chooses to not die as a shinobi tool, fulfilling his task, and choose to live. Like, he already chose, like, his humanity over dying as a shinobi tool. Why are we backtracking?
Yeah. And again, we don't have to go to Jiraiya, because I feel like it's a conversation that we don't want to start, because that's going to take a long time. But I feel like they're trying to say that Koji did something better than Jiraiya.
Well, yeah, obviously. He didn't die.
Okay, so Jiraiya did something bad or wrong.
He did something different. Oh, I need to change headphones.
Bro.
You refuse to give me even an inch?
Well, of course.
Oh my god. Of course it's different. Whatever. We'll talk about it another time.